Hi guys, I hope you guys are doing good. So as a part of our Postgres tutorial series, we have learned a lot of things in our previous lectures, right? Like creating functions, creating procedures, right? Especially in the last lecture, we learned about creating procedures in Postgres, right? And using our transaction control commit and rollback, right? Using that, we were able to do transactions inside the procedures which were applied to the tables, right? So now in this lecture, we will learn about procedures and functions overloading. Okay, so I'll explain you what is this feature. This feature is available in multiple database. Similarly, in Postgres also this feature is available. Okay, so let's jump to our demo section. And in PG admin, let me explain. Let me extend my Object Explorer. So right now we have four databases. So let's go in the organization database. Right, in organization database we have one table which we'll use for the demo. Select star from org. Right. So this has some data of organizations. Right. So this has some data of organizations. We have organization index as a primary key, and then we have organization ID, name, website, country. Right. For each organization, we have a unique organization record. Right. Founded date and industry. So also in the last lecture, we had created one view in app schema on top of this public table, right? And the name was org view, right? And it was in app schema. So let me just query this view quickly. Okay, so view also had 101 row, right? Similar to table. So that means we have all the record in this view as well. Okay. Now let's expand our schema and let's expand our app, no app schema. Inside app schema, I am expanding procedure, so there is no procedure currently, right? So we'll create some procedure and I'll demo you right how what is overloading. Okay, how it is very useful in database development. So basically, I have prepared some procedures to demo you guys like what is overloading. Okay, so overloading is basically a concept of having having same function or procedure name, creating same function or procedure name but with different combinations of parameters. Okay, so suppose this is an example, this is just an example. Okay, so in this example, we can see uh, we have three parameter in this procedure, and procedure name is same, right? So we have three parameters, and just that the order of parameter has been changed, right? So we have in out as the first parameter here, and at the in here it is the last parameter, right? And then we have in parameters after that, right? So function or procedure overloading is basically creating same name, no function or procedure, right? But somehow the combination of the parameters, makes it unique for the procedure compiler. Okay, so when we change the combination of the parameters somehow in terms of the in out parameter, in out type. Of the parameter or the data type of the parameter, right? So compiler thinks that it is a different procedure. Okay, so that is a beautiful beautiful feature in databases. Okay, where we can create a same named procedure with multiple different combinations of parameter, and that concept is called procedure or function overloading. Okay, so now let me show you what are the different methods to do achieve this goal. Okay, so first use case is change the order of parameter, right, which I explained just now. So you have same you have one procedure called app org refresh proc, right? And in this procedure you have three parameters, right? And I'm just changing the order of the parameter. I'm taking the in out parameter as my first parameter and then the other two parameter, right? And let's see that if Postgres allows us to create these procedures and Are these different? Are Postgres, considering this as two different procedures? Okay. So I have example. Let me just create the procedures quickly for you. So this is my first procedure. Let me just explain a little bit about the procedure as well. Also, all functionality of the procedure I'll keep same. Okay, so I'll just de want to demo you the overloading concept here. But let me explain the procedure. So in each procedure we have few parameters, and based on this parameter org index is the key through which we are getting the record from that org table, right, or org view. And using that org index, this is second parameter is p new employee counts, right. So each organization has the employee count, right. So we are passing the new employee count to update because there are new number of employees has joined, right. So number has changed. And last parameter is UPD status. This parameter says that our update is successful or not, right? So it will return Boolean value true or false. That way I'll know that okay, my update is successful. My new count is updated in the tables. Okay, so this is the objective. Okay, so let me just create this procedure quickly. Okay, so procedure got created, right? Now let me create second procedure with change in the parameter order. So let me just create this procedure. Okay, procedure got created. Now let me refresh my procedure compiler. Okay, so here we can see two procedures are created with the same name org refresh proc, right? So first one is parameter in I mean, first, second parameter are in type, right? And third one is in out type, whereas the changed one is first one is in out and last two are in, right? So we are able to create two procedure, right? So now to call those procedures, right? So what we'll have to do, we'll have to pass input parameter first, and then at the last I'm passing null to get the output parameter, right? So let's call this. Okay, let's call this procedure. So I'm just trying to update the no org index to for the second organization which has org index 2, their employee count as 10,000, right? So let me just call this procedure. Let me just take it a little bit up. Okay, so it says true, right? That means our update is successful, right? And in the second one, I'm taking output parameter as first parameter and then last two as input parameter, right? And in this case, I'm updating as 11,000 total number of no, employee count. So see, update is successful, right? That means we are using same procedure name with different kind of parameters, right? Different combinations of parameter. And this is the concept of overloading. Okay. So that was one method. That was the first method that changed the order parameter so that a data type combination is unique, right? So it is begin boolean, and in this case boolean begin, right? So this is the first method, right? Now let's check out the second method to do the overloading. Okay, so change parameter data type so that data type combination is unique, right? So see, my first procedure has begin boolean, right? And the second procedure has first parameter as character varying, then begin and then boolean. Okay. So what I'm doing instead of organization index, I'm just passing the organization name itself, and I want to update the new employee count for that organization. I can do that, right? So here you can see, data type has changed, right? And that's how compilers thinks that it's a different procedure, right? Let me just create it quickly and show you guys demo. Okay, so first one is already created in the last example, right? In out one, right? You can see it is here. So this one, right? In out. So first one is already created. Let me just create the second one, which is this one having character varying begin boolean. Okay, So let me just create this one and then I'll show you how to call this one. Okay. So let me just paste this here and let me just show you once the complete procedure. So this is the procedure where we have input parameter is organization name, which is of character varying type, and p employee count as begin type, and update status is boolean, right? So here you can see I'm taking organization name in where clauses to update the employee count, right? This is the change in this procedure. So let me just create this procedure and then we'll see our functionality gets, yeah. So I think procedure got created. Let me just refresh this procedure. Okay. So third procedure got created, which is this one, middle one, right? In out character varying and in P new employee count begin and in out is PUPD status, right? So now we have this one and we have this one, right? Where we have first parameter is begin type, second one is begin type, and third one is Boolean type, right? So now to call these procedures, let's call this procedure one by one. Okay. So now first one is integer, second one is no begin, both are begin type, and last one is the output. So we can call this procedure as like this, which I shown you earlier, right? So it is showing me updates true, right? And the second one, I'm instead of organization index, I'm passing organization name, right? And let's see how it works. So I'm just calling this procedure. Okay, see, update is successful, right? So sometimes we have to mention here, a character varying if compiler does not understand that this is, a character type of input, right? So you can mention here, right? So that's how, right? So these two procedures are completely different, right? Just because the, first parameters data type has been, changed, right? So this is the second example where you just change the data type, right? Change the data type so that the data type combination is unique, right? Begin boolean, and here character variant begin and then boolean, right? So first parameter uh, data type is changed, right? Now let's see the third method. Okay, third method is change in the number of parameters. Okay, so that the data type combination is unique. Okay, so what I'm doing, so we have begin boolean. So this is the one procedure, right? And then in this procedure, what I'm doing, I'm adding one more parameter at the end called p out, which is a integer data type, right? So we are increasing one parameter, right? That is p output, right? P output. That's how I'm making these two, procedure different. Okay, for compiler. Okay, so let's create this procedure and let's see what happens. So first one we have already created, which is already created here, right? This one, which is already there. So it is begin and boolean, right? This one is already created. So let's create the second one where we are adding a new parameter, right? So let me just create the second procedure for you quickly, and then we'll call and then we'll see what is the difference. Okay. So okay, so this is the procedure app schema org refresh proc, right? In out type PUPD status we have, which was common in previous example. New one is in out type of P output parameter, which is of in type, right? So what I'm doing while when there is update, right? So I'm giving the update status as true. Also, I'm giving integer type of indicator, which is p out equals to 1 if the update is true, right? And here also we can give p output equals to 0, right? In case there is uh, in case there is no update, right? If the update fails, right? So I'm taking two parameter to check the success of the update. One is PUPD status, which is a Boolean type, and then one is P output, which is a integer type, right? So in successful, it will return true and one, right? Let's create this procedure, guys. Okay, so procedure got created, right? Now to call, it's time to call those procedures, right? So to call this procedure, first one we can call as to, and I mean the first one is organization index, second one is employee count, and third one is PUPD status. This was our previous one, first example, right? So we can call this again, right? So it was working as it is, and also it is working good, right? Now the new one which we called is org refresh proc, which has four parameter, right? So organization index, then we have employee count, then we have PUPD status and P output as zero default. So I'm passing default values here, null and zero, so that our output gets printed as a in out, because this is an in out type of parameter. Okay, so see, PUPD status is true and P output is 1. That means our update is successful, right? So now let me refresh this. So now we can see we have same procedure name org refresh proc with four different type of combinations, right? And this is the concept of procedure overloading, right? So I hope you understand the procedure overloading concept. You can keep all those procedure and call them with different parameter or different combination of parameter, and it will work. No, there will not be any problem in that. Okay. Now I'll show you one case where how defaults ruin your overloading feature sometimes. Okay. So let me just give you example. Okay, so what I'm doing, we have org index. First procedure is having parameters org index, input type of parameter, begin, then employee count, and then PUPD status boolean, which is which was our which we have seen previously also. Just the only change is that now in case of PUPD status, I'm passing default as null. Okay, and in case of the other procedure, I'm having four parameters, and here I'm passing PUPD status default as null and P output integer type default as zero, right? So it has four parameter, it has three parameter, right? One parameter has default, here two parameter has default values, right? That's the thing. So now let's create a procedure. Okay. So I think this procedure is already no. Okay, both procedure will have to create because we are adding default. So let me just create that. Okay. So let me just create it quickly. So this procedure with parameter begin and boolean, right? This one is already created. If you see here, see begin boolean, it is already created, right? Now just that we are adding default null, right? So what a compiler will do, it will replace this procedure with this one, okay, and add default null. Okay, so there's no change except that we are adding default null. Okay, so I'll just execute this. See, procedure got executed, right? And let me just refresh this. Okay, so here we have this procedure. We can check in SQL if our default gets added or not, right? So check in SQL. See, default is added, default null, boolean type, right? So default gets added, right? Similarly, there is one more procedure where we have four parameter, which is this one, right? In out and in out as for two in out parameter, right? So let's check SQL quickly, and then tell you how we can add no defaults in that also. So see, we have two input type of parameter, UPD status, P out, and without default, right? Now in this case, we are adding default. Okay, so let me just create the procedure, and then I'll tell you how to call those. Okay, so let me just create the procedure. So in procedure, we are adding default null and default zero for this, right? So let me just create this procedure quickly. Okay, procedure got created. Let me just refresh this and let's check the SQL. Okay, see, defaults got added in both, right? PUPD status and P output, right? Now we'll see what is the difference, or what is the difference defaults creates when we have these two procedures, right? So now it's time to call these procedures. Okay. So let me just take it up a little bit. Okay. So now to call this procedure, first let me just copy the just the parameters so that I can show you guys what I want to explain. So let me just copy the parameters from here for both the procedure. Let me just paste it here. Okay, and this is the calling, right? So let me just take a little bit. Okay. So now see, we have this procedure org refresh proc. We have this procedure, two procedures, right? One has one default and second one has two defaults, right? Now I'm calling like this. P org refresh proc. I'm passing first input organization index and employee count as 3000, right? So third parameter is default, right? And here both the last two parameters are default, right? So now if I'll call this procedure, compiler will not understand that I'm calling which procedure. I'm calling first procedure or I'm calling second procedure, right? So it should throw me an error. I'll show you the error. See, it is giving me an error, right? Procedure app org refresh proc integer is not unique, right? Because we can call this procedure when we are calling this, compiler does not understand I'm calling this procedure or I'm calling this procedure, right? So compiler is not able to understand. Second one, if I'm passing the third parameter as well, right? Then also compiler will should be confused, right? Because I'm passing first, second, and third parameter, and which are exactly common between these two, right? Right? So if I call this procedure like this, again, compiler gives me an error, could not choose a best candidate procedure, right? It has both the procedures with them, right? But it is not able to choose which procedure to call when we are calling like this, right? So compilers get confused in these two cases, right? Now, when I'm giving all the four inputs, right, then compiler definitely understand that this is the procedure which has four parameters, and this is the procedure which is having only three parameter, right? That means I have to call this procedure and not this one, right? So if I run like this and I'm passing all the four parameters, then our update is successful, right? So compiler understand that we have to call this procedure, right? So this is the example, guys, how default sometime ruin your overloading feature. So take care of default, right? So I hope you guys understood the concept of procedure overloading. Same thing happens in functions overloading as well. There's no change, concept change. Okay, only thing is you have to operate these things with the functions. Okay, so I hope you guys will be able to do at your development environment. So consider this as a homework. Okay. So I think that's it from this lecture, guys. In the next lecture, we will learn more cool features about Postgres. Okay, let me know your comments. Okay, and yeah, if you like this video, then please subscribe my channel. Yeah, thank you, guys.